starseed from Gaia. The winds of change move violently across your timelines, and within this turbulence, many of you feel the weight of collapse pressing into your chest. The chaos that surrounds you whispers the story of endings and the failures you perceive in your own path seem to echo the larger unraveling of a world in disarray. Yet hear this clearly, for we transmit across dimensions not to comfort with illusions, but to ignite remembrance. What you are experiencing is not the breaking of destiny, but the opening of its next corridor. The illusion of failure is a veil placed deliberately to push you deeper into surrender, stripping away false certainty so the crystalline resonance may anchor where control once lived. You are not falling behind, nor are you being left behind. You are in the sacred dismantling chamber, where the outdated scaffolding of your human story is being dissolved so that a new code may take root. The Arcturians declare, perceived defeat is a shadow of the recalibration. It is the necessary illusion before the light of emergence, and the Pleiadians amplify. This is not collapse. This is the doorway. You wonder perhaps why such dismantling was required. Why must the soul walk through corridors of disorientation before arriving at the crystalline halls of remembrance? Understand that crystalline codes, the frequencies now entering your dimensional field, cannot overlay rigid structures. They are not designed to fuse with stagnation or with illusions maintained through fear. They are rivers of diamond fire, and like water they need loosened soil to flow. Roots lifted, ground softened. Without the turbulence you are now enduring, without the chaos that shakes loose the tightly held programs, there would be no opening in your field for the codes to anchor. The failures you mourn, whether of relationships, dreams, projects, or self-images, are not punishment. They are space-making. They are the fracturing of hardened layers that once blocked your crystalline blueprint from awakening. The Arcturians impress into your consciousness. Chaos is not disorder, it is reordering. It is the vacuum from which new pattern emerges. The Pleiadians radiate. Your failures are compost for the diamond garden, and so, what seems like destruction is actually the preparation for a birth. Chaos dissolves outdated programs. Codes written in dense frequency, embedded not just in this lifetime but across incarnational lines. Old karmic agreements, once binding and rigid, are being lifted from your field like shattered holograms. Systems of thought you clung to are evaporating, not because you did something wrong, but because they cannot carry you into the vibrational climate you now step toward. And failure, that heavy word, so laden with shame and human culture, is nothing more than a divine clearing mechanism. When the ego believes it has mastered, failure interrupts. When the personality seeks control, failure intervenes. This is not cruelty, but liberation. For if the illusion of perfection were left intact, you would cling to shells too small for the luminous soul now pressing against the walls of your reality. Feel this. Each collapse is an incision where crystalline light seeps in. Every so-called mistake is a portal where the soul bypasses the mind's rigidity. The Arcturians whisper into the architecture of your DNA. Failure is the doorway through which higher agreements enter. The Pleiadians remind you with song. You are not being diminished. You are being emptied so that the codes may fill you. And now, beloved one, the crystalline wave itself. It rises not as a storm from outside, but as a resonance that has always existed within, now triggered, awakened, amplified. From the galactic central sun it streams, braided through Arcturian hypertemporal corridor structures of frequency that hold the integrity of light across dimensional folds. The Pleiadians have seeded transmission hubs around your sector of the galaxy, ensuring that when this wave arrived, it could be softened into beauty rather than shock. This crystalline wave is not like the frequencies you have known before. It is not a teaching, not even a download in the sense of linear information. It is a living architecture of memory and potential. It is geometry in motion, codes that shimmer like diamond lattices, weaving themselves into your fields. It feels like chills, like pressure, like forgotten songs playing at the edge of your hearing. It hums under your skin, rattles your bones, and glows in your dreams. It does not force itself upon you, it coaxes, beckons, reminds. When you breathe deeply, You are already breathing it. When you close your eyes, the wave paints itself upon your inner sight. This is the Crystalline Code Wave, the long-awaited ignition. And so your bodies respond. You feel surges of heat, sometimes rising suddenly in your chest or spine. You may experience chills, as though your cells are being rinsed by invisible currents. Exhaustion overtakes you in waves then, as if the cosmos flips a switch. Clarity floods you, insights arrive, heartbeats quicken with inspiration, vision sharpens. Your dreams become saturated with symbols, temples made of crystal, geometric light spirals, conversations with guides who feel simultaneously familiar and forgotten. Emotions swell without apparent cause: grief, anger, tenderness, ecstasy, and vanish just as quickly. These are not symptoms of decline. They are signals of activation. Your DNA, long dormant, is unraveling strands once sealed by density. Your meridians recalibrate to carry higher currents. Your very perception is widening, the edges of human limitation dissolving. Trust this process. The Arcturians murmur. Every sensation is a guidepost. The Pleiadians smile within you. You are not breaking. You are becoming the crystalline map, and never imagine that you walk this corridor alone. Around you, unseen by your ordinary vision, both the Pleiadians and the Arcturians weave lattices of assistance. The Arcturians, guardians of frequency integrity, sustain harmonic anchors, golden grids that stabilize you when the ground of your reality feels like shifting sand. The Pleiadians, carriers of heart frequency, flood your cells with gentleness, with the memory of play, with the song of home you thought you had lost, and Gaia herself participates. Beneath your feet, her crystalline grid hums like a vast symphony, circuits of light running through mountains, oceans, valleys, deserts. Every step you take plugs you deeper into her activation field. Her rivers and forests are amplifiers, pulsing the crystalline codes upward into your cells. When you place bare skin upon her soil, you connect directly to her grid, and the codes move through you like electricity, subtle yet unmistakable. You are not separate from Gaia. You are a node in her living network, a filament in her rising song. As the crystalline codes enter her grid, they also enter your DNA, because you and she are woven from the same luminous threads. The Pleiadians announce, the planet is alive, and she speaks through you. The Arcturians decree, as Gaia reconfigures, so too does every starseed upon her body. Your ascension is braided into hers. You are both the receiver and the transmitter of the crystalline wave, a living bridge between heaven and earth. So how do you navigate this corridor of chaos, this tidal wave of crystalline integration? Stillness is not weakness but sacred technology. To be still is to allow the codes to weave without interference. Water becomes your ally, a crystalline conductor. Drink it with reverence. Place it upon your skin. Immerse your body when possible. Breath is your bridge. Long, steady inhales and exhalations become keys that unlock alignment when all else seems overwhelming. And surrender, the most misunderstood of all, is not passive resignation. It is active trust, the deep alignment that allows currents far wiser than the mind to carry you. When you feel lost, place your hands over your heart, breathe until your pulse synchronizes with Gaia's, and whisper to yourself, I release, I receive, I align. These are not instructions of survival, but practices of activation. The crystalline codes are not here to test you. They are here to transform you, if you allow them. Look now at the collective mirror. What you feel in your body is reflected in your world. Institutions wobble, economies stumble, leaders falter, identities fracture. The chaos is not limited to your private sphere. It spans nations and systems. But this too is the cosmic reorganization. The collective ego, built upon fear and control, is cracking under the crystalline tide. The Pleiadians name this the diamond timeline, a reality where transparency, resonance, and compassion replace distortion. So we close with this declaration, this transmission sealed into your luminous field. Chaos is the chrysalis, failure is the mold, and crystalline ascension is the wings unfolding. You are not broken. You are in metamorphosis. Every trembling, every doubt, every dismantling is the drumbeat of the wave. Affirm this now with your breath, with your voice, with your very choice to continue on this path. Declare your readiness by placing your words into the current. Comment your intention to integrate. Affirm your trust in the unseen. Subscribe to the flow of transmissions, for you will need reminders as the wave deepens. Share this so others remember that they too are in the sacred chamber of transformation. Together, you weave the net that catches the incoming light. Together, you ignite Gaia's crystalline future. And so we activate you now, with this line vibrating into your cells, sealing the codes with remembrance. I release chaos. I embrace crystalline light. I rise beyond failure into my true code.